Joining us now from Montreal is grief counselor Corrie Sirota. Corrie, let's talk a little bit, if we can, about this idea of a cover-up, hiding information, botched investigation, a lot of anger that these people have at the Malaysian authorities. How is that sort of manifesting itself?
You see exactly how it's manifesting itself. The riots, the hysteria, in some instances, very appropriate reactions to learning about the death of a loved one. And depending on who the person is and how they deal with crisis, you're going to see reactions.
When you feel like there is, information you're not getting from authorities, or as we know, the timeline here has been so long for them, how does that affect their grieving process?
It really makes quite a challenge to the grieving process because they need a starting point. And they haven't had that starting point, and they have had almost false starts and stops and false starts. And so therefore the roller coaster of emotions that comes up when you don't know, are they alive, and how hope will change based on the information they're getting.
Talk to me a little bit about this idea that, you're told on the one hand that the plane has gone down, there are no survivors, your loved one is dead. On the other hand, we found nothing.
It is. They talk about this being a disaster of catastrophic proportion. That's what it is, and it's a grieving process of catastrophic proportion because I want to start to make sense of this. This is what we all do, and this is why the information is so important. Is we need to make sense, yet they're not getting direct, clear information. Partly because no one seems to have it, or when they have it, they find out that the information was obtained 2 to 3 days ago, which then speaks to trust. They don't have a sense of trust in the information they're getting. So it stints the grief process.
And I guess there's also this urge, this human urge, very human, to sort of do something, and even if that means protesting.
Right. Well, that's why, for me, I'm not surprised to hear about the protests because they feel so helpless. They feel so out of control. They have no control over the situation or the information they're receiving. So they're seeking ways to, A, obtain that information, and B, try to absorb that information in a fashion that will make them feel like they're doing something proactive.
So if you are a family and you're trying to deal with this, you get this text message, Corrie, from the Malaysian Airlines. I mean, what's the process?
Well, the process, we're all great about what we could have or would have or should have done. My understanding is that families opted into receiving it through receiving information through text. Now, should they have gotten information directly that abrupt and that poignant? We can debate whether or not that was helpful, but the fact that they needed to have some information and they opted to receive that, perhaps information simply about coming to an important meeting where we have information might have been more appropriate in terms of and helping them process the reaction because it was such a significant announcement.
All right. Thanks so much, Corrie. We appreciate your time.